down here in downtown Bentonville at the Master Bike Show and Master Bike Builder Show. And I'm sitting here with Devin Lenz, who's an old friend of mine in the sense that we first met at a mountain bike World Cup or something, Norburn National,
Cup race, yeah.
about 200 years ago in Colorado. I remember he just had his bike in a van, and I just walked up to him and I was like, God, tell me about your bike. And I had never heard of him. Full suspension bike,
yeah,
wasn't it? Right?
First trail bikes.
Yeah.
Very first exhibit, 1997.
1997. Yeah. And then again, so we come down to Bentonville, and lo and behold, here he is again with a whole new range of bikes, new technology, modern technology, and it all starts with this Leviathan, which he wanted us to show. So we're going to have Devin tell us all about the Leviathan and what's going on with Lenz bikes these days.
Okay, yeah.
It's all you, bud.
97, I was building like trail bikes, and then kind of progressed into longer travel bikes and downhill bikes, and was trying to push the whole thing like everybody else was doing, dirt jumper, 4-cross bikes, and going to the nationals and stuff. Saw you all the time there. And it was just tough going. I always did better if I could find a little niche, somewhere where all the big brands weren't doing everything.
Exactly.
And so I did a single speed, I was doing the concentric pivot design at that time, if you remember that. So it had the chain stay length didn't change. So that was the thing I was pushing then. But somebody talked me into doing a 29er back in 2004. So I was one of the first guys to build a full suspension 29er. And that model was the Leviathan. It was a 3-inch travel bike. It was the first bike we did. Skinny little tires, not much of a selection in forks. But the benefits of the 29-inch wheels we recognized and just started going in that direction. So we had a little niche for a while there, building 29ers, and then we were progressing to bigger travel. I went to a 5-inch travel bike, the Behemoth, and eventually wound up doing a downhill bike, about 2013, 14, somewhere in that area. So big wheels, didn't have forks, didn't have tires, we crashed a lot because the tires wouldn't stay on and weren't big enough, and so did that, and then we kind of got out of that, started doing the plus tires. So that's what I do now mainly. Is I'm a big proponent of plus tires, the big cushiony ride, super low air pressure with the bigger volume. You get really good traction, really good balance, and they're like 30-inch tall tires, so they even roll a little bit better over stuff. So everything I make now, we do from 4-inch travel bike. I've brought the Leviathan back as a 4-inch travel bike, doing the trunnion shock and the more modern stuff. But everything I do, I try to make fit the plus tires, 29 plus or 27.5 if you can't ride the bigger tires. Like
that's the Lenz niche.
Yeah,
of late.
That's the niche that I have now. And surprisingly, all the big brands aren't really doing that.
Yeah. So
like your more harder core riders, the guys that ride a lot harder than I do, probably have a little bit of trouble with the bigger tires. They don't maybe hold up. They roll a little bit too much for them, or roll sideways when they're really pressing it hard. So, but for the kind of riding I do, and a lot of people that buy my stuff, they really appreciate the supple ride of the plus tires and the sick traction you get. So that's what I'm doing.
And that's what this is here, a 29.4.
So this is a 29.4 plus. Basically, I do also do a fat bike up to 4-inch tires. The Cadillac is that, but. So we got the Leviathan, we got the Mammoth, the Behemoth, and we're going to do the PBJ as the old downhill bike we did. So I'm going to reintroduce that again now. It's full 29.
Tell us about your facility. Where are you located?
So I'm located in Fort Lupton, Colorado, between Brighton and Fort Lupton, out in the country kind of, and just a shop building behind. I got acreage with the shop building there, and that's where I've been doing my work all along. Got about 3,000 square feet of shop space, got CNC milling machine and lathe and all the stuff I need in-house, powder coating and
no kidding,
everything. Yeah, so we do all the welding and machining and everything pretty much in-house. The only thing we sub out is the heat treating, I guess. But
how many people make up the we of Lenz bikes?
Me.
Really?
I had a helper for a while that isn't working there now, but I'll get a helper. I need another helper. So if anybody wants to build bikes.
So you're kind of a one-man shop, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow, good for you.
One or two, three people.
Doing the paint too?
Powder coat, yeah. We could do a lot of custom powder coat.
So you keep saying we.
Well, so I work 2 shifts, so I figure it's
every
day 2 shifts.
No, I'm just saying because it's impressive when it is.
Because
if it's just you, that's helpful. If it's just you, because on the motorcycle races, they're always saying, "How'd your race go?" And I go, "Well, we," and I'm like, "We." It's just you're the rider, you know. And I get the team, but anyways,
Yeah,
just kind of joking because
we'll get some more
good for
people
you
again.
because you're one guy doing all this
Yeah,
work,
right
and it's
now.
exceptional.
Yeah, I need to get some more help. Doing what I do is like there's just too much work.
Yeah.
So I need to get another helper again. But I kind of gave up on it. I never really had ideas of getting really big or anything like that. You know, maybe a little bigger or whatever. But,
Yeah.
So, but it'd be nice to get some help, and definitely need some help with it all. But
So over the years, what have you been sort of big monumental shifts in terms of mountain bike technology and the evolution of it?
so I started back when like shock absorbers started coming out. You know, like Fox came out with the Alps.
The Alps,
4s.
that's right. Yeah.
And so that was the thing that like prompted me to go ahead and pursue this suspension design I wanted to do. So I did that, and then a lot of stuff. I mean, disc brakes, came soon after that. They were already doing suspension forks, but that was huge when I first got that. But everything's gotten refined and works so much smoother. It's just, the drivetrains, I like the single front chainring setup is super sweet. I don't really do a lot of the electronic stuff, but all that together, just really makes everything come together into some really amazing stuff these days.
So we're just talking about evolution. Can you hold the front tire of the bike, and can you hold the bike up? Just
Sure.
like me on the handlebar, because I'm going to go fetch what I have over here.
Okay.
So just for the sake of evolution, mountain bikes, talk about a guy who's going to take it to a whole different world. Darren, what the heck do we have here?
We have a ski bike. So basically it's just
So go ahead and tell the world what the heck's going on here.
So basically, it's really similar to a mountain bike. It's got all the components that a mountain bike uses, the suspension and everything. A guy was making conversion kits back in I met him in about 2004, and he liked my old bikes with the cantilever beam swing arm design. So he talked me into a couple of his kits for one of my frames, and I built a ski bike up and just fell in love with it because I used to ski race and ski instruct and stuff. So I was able to do all that, and kind of mixing the two together was like a natural for me to kind of progress all this. And I started building better stuff because his stuff was kind of like didn't have really
primitive.
big skis and really primitive. So I was trying to ski more advanced stuff and needed better performing stuff. And we were converting my old downhill bikes at first, but it just kind of came clear that we needed to build bikes specific for it. So now we're building, powder skis and got everything pretty well refined to where we can ride really super steep terrain, big steep.
So he takes on a chairlift?
Yeah.
And then just come down, ride the thing like a mountain bike?
Yep, anything, it's kind of a total cross between.
Yeah,
sure. Like you can go, like do some traverse trails through the woods and stuff like a mountain bike, but you got to learn how to ski it. How to make skidded turns and how to control your speed that way. But sometimes, you're going through the woods and it's totally like enduro,
Yeah.
So it's fun. But you also, when you're on the really steep stuff, it's more like skiing. So you got to make those turns and really keep your speed down.
Do you just do one model?
No, I've got quite a few models.
Like with different suspension or something?
Yeah, different sizes, different, like this is my like top of the line bike here. It's kind of heavy duty bike, but I've got a bike that I kind of scaled down so I could take it overseas, hopefully to kind of bring the price level down and the volume up. And so we did that. We pursued that a little bit. So we got some of those bikes.
I mean, you got your own skis even.
Yeah. I actually even tooled up to make skis myself because I didn't really. I mean, it's like the bikes, I never worked in the industry.
Yeah.
And so I just was doing my own thing. And skis, I didn't really know how to, I wanted to try a bunch of different designs, but that can get really expensive before you figure out what you're doing right or wrong. So I made a press and all the stuff to make skis. And I can make skis, but now I'm just having them made out, in volume.
And what's the price range for something like from the top to here's the high-end one. What does this cost?
So this high-end one starts at about $3,000, and you can upgrade some stuff, put nicer fork on it, nicer skis. You can get, if you put some Fox stuff on it, you're pushing $4,000 plus. You can't really get too crazy with it.
Does it make a difference as much like on a mountain bike? We know how much different components can.
It's kind of nice to at least upgrade to something, like the Marzocchi fork. Because we were trying to put RST forks on it, and just try to get the price point down. They worked all right, but the Marzocchi is definitely a way better shock.
Pull.
The rear shock is way better than the B&M shock. Trying to keep that price point. So. But the Fox, that's kind of overkill, but it's pretty sweet. Some guys, they're just going to have it. They want that really nice stuff, and it works really good. So.
Well, for summer runs, winter runs, how does someone find out more about Lenz bikes and snow bikes?
Lenz Sport lenzsport.com.
There it is, right on the ski,
our website,
lenzsport.com.
And this is how we keep going in the wintertime, and this is how the small guy keeps going in the summertime. So we've got kind of keep us busy all year round.
Well, it's great running again. It's been a long time since 1997.
Come on out and try this.
Yeah,
It's pretty easy.
We'll see about that. But anyways, I mean, it's so far-fetched looking. I'm not a ski guy at all, so I'm just like, wow, that's got to be just carving in the snow. You know, that must be a whole other kind of fun.
You can do, some of the easiest stuff is really fun at first, until you get bored of that and you just keep going up and up.
Yeah. Well, thank you for making a trip down to Bentonville. Really appreciate it. It's good seeing you again.
Too,
and wish you all the success.
All right, thanks.
All right, cheers.
All right.